DeepSeek just raised its API prices by as much as 1,100%, while OpenAI and Anthropic are cutting theirs. Big technicians' AI purchase commitments are closing in on $1.5 trillion, and Apple has quietly trained its own model for China, with help from Alibaba. This is AI Pulse Daily, your daily AI news in under 3 minutes. Here's Friday, August 14th. Story 1. DeepSeek launched V4 Pro, its new flagship, and raised prices at the same time. Cakeson reports some API workloads are going up by as much as 1,100%. Peak rates now reach $1.32 per million cache miss input tokens, and $3.96 per million output tokens. This is the company that made its name proving frontier performance could be sold for pennies. Meanwhile, OpenAI cut pricing on GPT 5.6 Luna, and Anthropic is positioned in Claude Opus 5 at about half the price of Fable 5. My read. DeepSeek just worked out that being the cheapest is a marketing budget, not a business model. Story 2. The Financial Times added up the purchase commitments sitting inside Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Oracle and Meta, and got close to $1.5 trillion. That is chips, servers, data center capacity and electricity, contracted years ahead of the demand. Goldman Sachs counts roughly another $1.5 trillion in lease commitments on top of that. These are real future cash obligations, and they do not sit on the balance sheet the way debt does. Here's my take. This is not a software industry anymore. It is heavy industry with fixed contracts, and heavy industry is very hard to steer once the concrete is poured. Story 3. The Verge reports Apple has trained a custom large language model for China, built with help from Alibaba. China requires generative AI services to clear regulators before they reach the public, and ChatGPT is not available on the mainland, so Apple Intelligence has been stuck there. Apple recently registered its on-device generative service with Chinese regulators, and a proprietary China model would give it far more control over what actually ships on iPhones sold in the country. My read. Apple spent years reducing its dependence on China. The rules there just pulled its software stack straight back in. Rapid fire. Google shipped Gemini 3.7 Flash, its coding and agent workhorse, at half the previous Flash price. OpenAI previewed ultra-fast, an API tier running GPT 5.6 swell up to 14 times quicker on Cerebrus hardware, at 750 output tokens a second. IBM and OpenAI signed a broad enterprise partnership covering workflows, modernization and cybersecurity, and Pony.ai and Uber plan more than 2,000 robotaxis across 5 European cities. That's your pulse for Friday. If this saved you an hour of scrolling, subscribe. A new episode lands every single day. See you tomorrow.